Hatchett versus Kane Baker. Let's do this. Ben Hatchett, Let's Be Real TV, sponsored by Terrace Colt. Welcome to Let's Be Real with me, Ben Hatchett. I'm here today with a special guest, Kane Baker. Kane, you sat there, my bro.
What's happening, bro? You good?
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming down to see me, mate.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, obviously you're a pro boxer.
Yeah. Pro boxer, 14 wins, 7 losses, 21 fights professionally.
Yeah. And you've got a fight coming up as well, haven't you?
I got a fight March the 6th on the Dillian White undercard.
Dillian White undercard?
Yeah, so about 3.5 weeks.
Are you fighting? Who's he?
Yusuf Kamari.
Yusuf Kamari?
Yeah.
Right, so well, normally I like to start, obviously go back, obviously in the podcast, we'll go back to like how it all started, man, where you grew up. And
Yeah.
Tell us about yourself, man.
So, I grew up on a council estate with my mum. We had my dad and mum's partied, so my mum brought me up basically. I had 2 older brothers live with me. And there was you learn a lot from your older brothers. There's a lot of mischief within my family, and having no solid foundations as a dad figure. There was I let loose a little bit, and I'd get into trouble. I'd get into all sorts of trouble, really.
What sort of trouble did you get back into?
From an early age. Well, I got bullied when I was young, to be fair, at school.
I
was bullied even by girls, back in primary school. And then I went to secondary school, and I'd left my... the year from your primary school, normally go to the same school, don't they?
Yeah.
And I left all my primary school friends and went to a different secondary school. I was the only kid there that I knew, really, was myself. And then, I was... From before that, I was always in mischief, fighting. I got bullied, then I started fighting back.
Do you remember your first fight? Because obviously from being bullied, that first time you sort of fought back then.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Oh, I do remember it. I remember my mum saying to me, I went back. Well, I didn't fight back at first. I'd ran a few times, and I'd been hit a few times. And then I remember my mum and that saying to me, if you don't, I'll give you something to cry about. If you come back like that, come back crying, I'll give you something to cry about. And I thought, bloody hell. And I remember the kid pulling up on his bike, and he slammed the bike, and I thought, no, this is it. And I can remember it clear. And my memory's crap, but I can remember it clear. And I thought, this is it now. It's fight or flight. I've got to fight. And we swung it out. Yeah. And I don't know who won. No one knows who won, but I was ready to carry on swinging. And I found I could swing then a little bit.
How did it make you feel after that? No, like obviously, I can relate to people, but obviously myself, and knowing you've had a hard time, and when you realise, fam, like, do you know what? I can swing.
Why didn't I do that? Why didn't I ever do that for all them years? For years, I was bullied, and people was bullying on me, picking on me because there was no response. I was an easy target, really. And then I just thought to myself, why didn't I ever come back? And then from then the bullying kind of stopped and went a different way, and I got into a lot of battles, a lot of fights as you do, young kids.
It's like at secondary sort of school. Is it secondary school age?
Well, yeah, secondary age now. So like 12, I was always fighting with kids older than me. Then, so I went from getting bullied by people probably younger or my age to then fighting people older years than me in secondary school. And then I was known as a bit of a fighter in school and kind of thing, really. What
about your brothers as well? Was they fighters, boys?
No. There was one of my brothers spent a lot of time in jail. But he always taught me and showed me the things not to do. Even though he'd get done for silly things, he'd do like car crimes and a bit of fighting himself and that kind of thing. But he always made sure I would never, and that kind of seeing him make the mistakes stopped me from making a lot of mistakes.
So that's good. So you could have looked at it as like glamorisation.
Yeah, definitely. But he, even though I did, I think a part of me did because he'd get big in jail. I'd go and visit him and think, oh, no, he looks tough. And he was always smiling and strong anyway. But he would make sure to tell me, like, this ain't where I want to be. I can't do nothing. I can't see my brother. Do you know? And I used to think, fucking hell. I really took it on board, and I never wanted to ever go there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So going through schooling, so obviously, did you get expelled or anything?
Yeah, I got.
I thought so.
I got expelled. I got suspended a few times for all for fighting-based problems. I was pretty clever really. I was good at maths and things, but yeah, I would always get into altercations, and I was suspended throughout the years. And then my last year, I was sent to I had to take my exams and that in the caretaker's house.
Was it?
Yeah, and I weren't allowed in the school at all. Full stop. The last 6 months to a year. Yeah. And again back to fighting. That was.
Wow. So what happened when you left schooling?
Well, I landed on my feet when I left school. My mum got me a cleaning job. So I'd left school early. I was doing a bit of building on the side. My mum got me a cleaning job, and it was cleaning the bank. So I was talking to the bank, and I seen this kid down there, and he said to me, "You could get a job here. You've got to take a test, do this." And I had to fill out my exams. I didn't take them, but I failed my exams basically. But I filled them out. I'd done all right. I didn't give myself too good a score, but I'd give myself like C's and the D's and the odd B. And then I sent it off, and they phoned me up and they said, "Look, you can start." This was on Friday. I took the test. They said you can start in a job temporary on the bank on Monday. And so I went there on the Monday. Started. I'd done 13 months. I went straight I stopped there, everything. I was really in a good place. Done 13 months straight without a day off, and the bank took me on permanent. Yeah. And then in that kind of time, then there was like the 18, 19, the pub scene. I was going out. I had a permanent job at the bank, and I thought, oh, fucking hell, I was on a good money. Yeah. And I started pissing it up the wall and taking drugs. And the 13 months without a day off, turned to I couldn't do 13 days without a day off. Yeah, and then so the pub scene and pub life. Then there was a lot more like it was in school, fighting. There'd be pub brawls. Looking back, some scary situations I'd been in.
Can you remember one? I can remember. Really sticks out.
Oh well, there's one that sticks out to me. Is there was a guy who passed away from a pub fight we was all involved in, and it was a horrible one because it was to know that whoever, whatever. Obviously, I didn't kill the guy, but to be a part of it that night, it's horrible. And looking back now, I think to myself, what kind of guy was I? You know, it's a horrible situation. No one there ever wanted anyone to die. No one ever does. But when it does happen, it hits home, and you realise someone's lost a dad, someone's lost a son, and it's quite it's heartbreaking. I had a lot of stuff come off that as well from people who'd thought that we was all involved, and my mum had to move out of Birmingham. My house got smashed up. I had death threats. I had to my bank. I lost the job. So my life just went. I went from doing 13 months of good as gold, then from doing 13 months of drinking, being involved in it. I could have seen this situation like this coming before, from being involved in pub fights that never went wrong, but you don't think. And I've been bottled, and I've been stabbed myself.
Did you get stabbed yourself?
Yeah, I've been stabbed myself. I've been stabbed in the head. That was over a car parking space. That was. Swear down, yeah. And to be fair, do you know the worst of that? That was after I'd changed my life as well. That was after the murder. After I'd been involved in that case.
How old was you when after this pub?
So that was 19, 20. Yeah.
So obviously shit's hit the fan. 19, 20, and that.
Yeah.
So where have you gone from there? What's happened now?
Well, from there, I kind of got into a little bit of boxing, I suppose, on the white collar scene, doing a bit of training, a few things like that. But I'd met my missus after the court case and like all that kind of
What's your
stuff.
missus now?
Coral. Yeah. I met her and I just knew when I met her, and I thought, fucking hell, this is too good to be true. I got to do what she says. I got to try and impress her because I just fell in love with her from the day I met her.
Yeah.
And and I knew how to pick myself up, and she just took me under her wing, really, and fucking changed my life, yeah, mate.
How old are you then? How old are you when you met Carl?
20.
20 then.
Yeah, so fucking, it just went from then.
You're still together now, aren't you?
Still together.
I see the Instagram post.
Yeah,
still solid, isn't it?
Solid, absolutely solid. Best friend, my soulmate. I can't. The way we are, it's mad. Yeah. I'd never thought I could meet someone like that the way I have.
Do you think if you didn't meet her, things could have been different?
Yeah, I would have been probably looking at another charge, looking at some other crime or activity I'd be involved in. I was just mixing in the wrong circles. I had no goal, no drive, nothing. So it was inevitable that you just carry on going round and round, and I would have been getting into trouble drinking and doing the same kind of shit that got me in trouble in the first place.
With the drinking, do you think you'd ever use with the drinking as an escape, like distraction and all that?
You think so, don't you? Because it takes you to a different place, a different feeling. Yeah. And normally in life, to get to have a drink, people say, "Oh, I'm stressed," or they're unhappy with the situation they're in. For me, that's what I was, and I wanted to get to that other feeling of euphoria or being drunk, but of just away from how I felt in my life in general. Yeah. At first, though, to be fair, a lot of it was from showing off from the bank. I used to go in my suit, and I used to think I'd have a few pints with the lads, and then it just escalates. I was there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and fucking days off. It's just dreadful.
Fucking hell. So let's go back when you said about getting stabbed. What happened there?
So that was...
How old were you at this point?
I was about 26, 7.
26?
Yeah. We had... my missus had got a new car, and we'd parking outside the front of the house, and there was a bit of banter between the neighbours in the parking space, and it went on, and then there was a disabled bay that put there, and my missus parked in that, and she had a massive scratch down the side of the car, and I was like, fucking hell. I said, and then the only people that I thought it would have been the people that had the disabled badge. I said, don't say anything, the older disabled couple, don't really say anything. And then there was a note put on the car, park anywhere near it again, and more damage will happen. And I thought, oh, fucking hell. And then we went over and spoke to him, and we said, oh, we're sorry about parking there. And it kind of went well, the conversation. And then at the end, they got a bit irritated and said, I'm not really happy about the way you've come over here. And I thought, I didn't think nothing of it. Left the situation, walked back to the house. This is probably a week had passed, and I was doing a bit of scrap metal and roofing work there. So I had my van, and I was parked up a week later, getting a sink out of my van to give to this lad, and a woman, 2 birds walked past, and they fucking looked rag, absolutely. I said to my pal, bloody hell, I said, they look mad, don't they? And he was like, yeah. And then as they went past, I couldn't see because my back door, the thing went open, but they obviously went to my house, and I could hear a commotion in the end, and they had my missus was on the doorstep with a vacuum, and they was fighting with my missus. Fuck. And I was like, fucking hell. Ran over, and I was splitting them apart. And they said, you went threatening to my granddad's house, rah, rah, rah. I said, fuck off. So I pushed her away from the house. And she went, you've hit me. I'm going to get you done over. I said, listen, I'll wait here. I live here. I ain't going anywhere. Get whoever you want. And a car pulled up. Lad, within 10 minutes. He jumped out and he was like, I know, Kane. He says, he wouldn't hit a bird. Like, he ain't hit a bird. He does a bit of boxing. He's a nice kid, like. He jumped back in and fucked off. Then the work van pulled up. 2 guys jumped out. And I said to the kid, I went, mate, I've just explained to you one, pal. And by then he was on me throwing punches.
Yeah, so he was set pacing straight away.
And I was like, and I remember I was moving, bobbing shots. And he was hitting me on the top of the head, and I thought, what the fuck, is weird. Now I caught him a good shot. And he went, and ran off. And then there was blood pouring down my face. And the neighbour, we had students living next door, and he went over and he said, he stabbed you. And my body warm had all stab holes in. My head he'd stabbed me about 3 times in the head. And then he ran off. And
how many times did he stab you?
Well, nothing penetrated my body. I just had 3 clean holes in the head.
So you've gone for the head as well?
Yeah. He went for my body but missed. But everyone said, because my missus seen it, the neighbours seen it, everyone said that. I don't know how. No one knew he had a knife at one point. No. And then, I don't know how, because it looked like he was hitting you everywhere. And I had all little puff holes in my buffer jacket. And I was like, fuck, And I didn't know. I didn't even realise. And then the ambulance obviously come out to go get my head all stitched and glued. And we found the knife that he'd done it with, and it was blunt. Yeah. And they said to me, if that was any sharper and your skull weren't as thick, they said, you'd have gone straight through your head.
Oh man. How that make you feel looking back when you say it like that?
Mad. And I was, over a car parking space. I couldn't catch my fucking breath. Yeah. And that's the last kind of altercation I've really ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a scary one though as well.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. In your own house, because that's where I was. Outside my own house, basically. Where you think you're the safest. And stabbed in the head. Fucking nuts. I know.
You said you started doing, so you were already a bit known because you said the other lap pulled out and nose game. You started doing a bit of boxing. So how old was you? Because getting into the boxing.
Well, I'd had one when I was 18, where I'd been in the pub and people could know I could have a fight, and they said you should do a boxing match. I never trained. I had one.
It's unlicensed. It's unlicensed.
And I fought a kid and I lost. And I never really done it. Then I'd know some world champion kickboxers, and they used to train and do classes, and I'd come up and do some sparring with them, and just every couple of weeks or every so often have a blowout, have a spar, have a good train with top lads, and that's how I liked it. And they were used to say to me, "Come on, Kane, fight," and I was nah. And then one day they said to me, "You can fight a copper at the Irish and that in Birmingham."
A
copper, yeah. And then my mouth was watering, and I'd thought, wow. The tickets I could sell was local. It was against the policeman. It was a big show. There was some world champion kickboxing on the same show. I thought, fucking hell, this is like, I'd be stupid to say no. I've had a few problems with coppers in the past.
I've had a few. Yeah, me too. Me too. I would have took the fight.
So that was really why. If they would have said fight anyone else, you could fight the Prime Minister, you could fight the President, you could fight another. But I'd have said no. But at that time, a copper was just the right method to get me in there. And I got in there and legally chinned the copper.
Legally chinned the copper.
And that was about 12.5 stone. No, that was some lot of weight. And that was the start of my coming down in weight.
Because I've seen pictures. There's pictures you do, like, it's quite motivational. I've seen them on the Instagrams, like you from back in the day, like, to your body from how it was to now. It's crazy. You look different, gang, like 2 different people, bro.
My mum don't recognise me. She thinks she's got another son somewhere else. That one. I was 14 stone 10 at my heaviest.
Fucking hell, bro.
And I fought at 9 stone 4 now. So.
Mad, eh?
Mad.
Mad. So when did that come in? Because you was about 12 stone then. So was you got heavier after that? Or was you
I was heavier before that. So probably about 20. Just when I'd met Coral, we went on a holiday. And that's when I come back, all-inclusive holiday. And I was fucking all-inclusive. So clattered that. Come back weighing myself. I was 14. 10.
Is that the picture you posted on Instagram? Is that the one? Is that the holiday when you was at? Yeah, 14. I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah, that was my heaviest, 14, 10. And then I kind of whipped the stone off pretty quick. But I was sitting around 13 and then 13 and a half, and then they said, you got to get to 12 and a half. And I remember thinking, the policeman, because he trained at the same gym as well. I thought, he's massive muscle everywhere. You see all them tough mudder challenges.
Oh, tough mudder,
and he was a weightlifter, and he's a decent little boxer, like. But I thought, so I trained hard, and then he started coming off, and then I kind of stayed with the white collar then. After that fight, I was
You won that fight as well.
Yeah, I
you
won the fight. Yeah. I chinned him. I think the ref stopped it legally chinned him. And then you just started rolling with that really. I was
So you think meeting Coral now with the boxing? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because meeting Coral as well, her family didn't really knew a bit about me and didn't really want me with that. So she had no. I'd left my mum's because I'd had all the trouble and I'd in a bad place, and she'd moved away. So I was homeless.
Yeah.
And she decided to come with me, and we was both homeless.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's staunch, isn't it? That's proper.
This is the worst part. Now she's from quite a well-to-do nice family, so she come to me and I had a pot to piss and I'd lost my job. And don't forget, I'd got her by blagging that I was in the bank, bank manager. I was all coach.
Oh yeah, is that what you told her?
Yeah, I told her I was higher up than I was, all the bollocks. And then she would drop me off, even though I had nowhere to go. So I was going to my pal's house. She'd drop me off and I'd make her drop me off at this nice house. The house looked the bollocks. And I'd fucking wait for her, see you later. And run round the back, round the alley, all the way to my mates. Through to the council estates on the opposite side. Yeah, and but then I knew that I had to, so I just come clean and I told her.
Yeah.
And she liked the fact that I was honest, and she was like, well, we can't go to my mum's on dates. We stayed in the car. Yeah, we stayed in the car. Uh-huh. And then it got even worse because she had loads of expensive handbags and she'd kept loads of stuff. She had a makeup room at mum's, all her bags and stuff. I said, we're doing a cut boot, can we take some of the sauce? Bags that she'd queued for, Burberry, Louis Vuitton, 400, 500 quid bags. Yeah. And we're selling them for 30 quid at the car boot and stuff, just to eat and keep diesel in the car. And it was fucking... And then, because I'd made a bit of money off some of the white collar, then I was fighting every week. I was making 150 quid. I thought that could be my job for a bit. I said sometimes I'd have one on a Saturday, one on a Sunday.
So how many white collar fights you have literally every week? Yeah,
to get money, and then I was eased back into the building work as well. So I was getting work, but every time I didn't have work, I'd be on the white collar, and it was I was just mingling and just getting by, car booting. Building a couple of days a week here and then fighting on the weekend.
So that time, would you say that's one of the lowest times in your life?
Yeah, but I knew I had some. I was low, but I knew I had something that I shouldn't have had with my missus, with Cora. I knew there was something, so I just kept fighting. And I'd get up at stupid o'clock to go to work or the car boot. I would go. It was mad. Some of the stuff I've done, do you know what? Thinking back about it, it's fucking crazy, isn't it? And there's one story that... So I went, my mum had a garden shop at one point, and I thought, wow, I know what I can do here. The car boot, I was selling stuff on the car boot, and I thought, the garden centre, I could nick a load of hanging baskets. Say I got them from the garden centre and sell them at the car boot. And I was done that then for a couple of weeks, and then it was just getting really bad, and then I landed a job, but that's how bad it got. I had nothing, so the ideas that were coming out of my head were mad. And I remember taking Coral with me the once and saying, we've got to get the baskets. We're going through posh areas and I'm nicking hanging baskets. And then when I did finally get some money, I went back and you know the houses I took the hanging baskets out? I went back and put hanging baskets there, new ones from my mum's garden shop. I got her to make them up and I took them back. And I even spoke to one of the person that I took his hanging basket and I said, look, and he was like, wow. He was
what an amazing thing to do, man. That's full responsibility, isn't it?
Because I knew what I was thinking out of my head when I was doing it. I thought this ain't right, but at the time, sometimes you're in a different situation. You've got to make ends meet. You've got to do whatever you've got to do. We're sleeping in the car with the heaters on. It's freezing. But we're running out of diesel, I've got to get money. And I drew how much money I could. And Mum and Dad would stop giving them money because I was zapping it. And then slowly things changed. I was working and then I started learning a lot on the roofing, doing my own kind of thing. And then... and then it just flipped around. I was still doing the white collar, and everything was just getting better and better. And my missus, she was back at work with her mum and that was accepting me.
Yeah, that must have been
and
good.
then that it was all worth it then.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then now everything I look back and wow, it's all fucking worth it.
What are you like with a family now?
Well, the mum sadly passed away.
Oh shit, sorry to
But yeah, I get on with a dad and a brother and all the family and cousins. Yeah, well, they love me now. Like, I'm part of the furniture now, really.
Yeah.
But at first I weren't. I definitely weren't. But yeah, I'm well in now. I'd like to say I'm in the family now.
That's got it, man.
Yeah, man.
So all this, how does it go from all this, the unlicensed to pro boxer? How did it change? Did you do the amateurs?
No amateur.
No amateur career.
No
amateur career.
Nothing. I know, yeah.
That's pretty rare as a pro boxer, isn't it?
Yeah. It is. There's a few more. It's a few more happening now that could do the white collar and just have that.
It's quite more glamorised, the white collar now, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And I'll stand by it because it changed. A part of it might have been coral, a lot of it, and it might have been other things. But for me, the white collar come through. I went through everything. My weight loss, my fucking troubles.
You see with the violence, you know what I'm saying? You see with like the violence. I'm a fighter, man. I'm an extreme kid, and that, so I get it. And I find when I go into the boxing gym, I do the boxing, it humbles you.
Yeah.
Would you say that as well?
100%. 100%. It makes you think that you've got to do more to be better and to better yourself. And you know, sometimes you can have a hard day and you come out of the gym and you think, fucking ain't good enough, man. Why are these guys better than me?
I'm probably going to get that today when we spar.
Yeah.
I'm having one of these days today, guys.
Or even on the back, I remember when I was doing and there was some sharp white collar lads that I used to train with, and they fucking wham. And I used to think, fucking hell, how come I ain't like that? I just ain't got it. Why am I here? But then I used to get it in my head, well, I'm going to be on this bag longer than he's going to be on. He might be better, and he might punch you better, and he might look $1 million, but he ain't going to be standing there in an hour, because I am, and I'm still, that's why I just kept going. I just wanted to be better. Yeah. And yeah, like you said, it humbles you, because you can be the man on the street. Wow. And you go into a boxing ring and the quietest kid can take his coat off and kick the fuck out of you. You know what I mean? And you think, wow, I didn't expect that. And it, it humbles you, and and it always strives you, I think, to do better. And you walk out of there and you've got a good session in the bank and you think, fuck me, I feel good. Yeah. And you sometimes you have a few beers and you feel good and you think I feel good, but the next day you're fucked, or you've done something stupid. That's how I find. And I find with this, you get the same feeling, but you wake up the next day and you're ready to do it better than you did the day before. And it suits my lifestyle now, 100%.
So how did the first professional fight come about then? How did the transition? That's the
well, I had quite a lot of unlicensed, and then I got offered to fight on a charity one. But it was like Frank Warren, and it was a prize fighter, and the kickboxers they fought in it, and I got offered. You can go, Kane, as a reserve. You get now. I've been fighting for 150, the white collar, 100 quid, 80 quid, 250 maybe. If I sold a load of tickets, 500, and then I got offered 1,500 quid. You ain't got to sell a ticket. You gotta go. You get a medical worth 500 quid for your brain scan, for your professional license.
So like MRI and
all that kind of stuff. So you get that included. You get to stay in a nice hotel with your missus for a few nights. Your fucking food's paid for you. I thought, what the hell is this about? I was like, I'm in. Get me in. I got there. We were at Frank Warren's offices. We have to go to get weighed in. Got weighed in, and I was the lightest out of everyone.
What was yours?
At this, because this before I went pro, I was 10.7, and everyone was 11 and a half, 12. So that was like, you're the lightest. You're gonna be a reserve. Yeah. I was like, so I thought, shit, I've lost the money. I ain't gonna get the money if I don't fight. And I was like, we're gonna pay you over, and you're gonna get to sit front row with missus and watch the fight. And it was like my mates were fighting in it. Yeah. The kickboxers that I'd been training with, so they was fighting in it, and it was quality. There was money on the screen, and there was a buzzer would go off, and you'd win like 20 grand if you stopped doing that time. It was a Total Combat. It's called. Total Combat. Have a look on YouTube. It was a mad setup. Yeah. It was great thing. And then I met my first boxing manager, because he obviously got me the fight, got me set up. I had my medical pass, and then he goes, I know I haven't seen you fight. He said, but,
did you fight that night though?
No.
No, you didn't get the fight. So you got the front row seat, you got the hotel, and
got everything.
1,500.
Everything, mate.
That's
And
a touch,
I thought, wow, what a touch this was. At one point, I was going in. They said, right, you're in. There was one of the kids had injured or something, and then they went, no. It was classed as a knockout, so I didn't even get to go in. I got warmed up once, and then a new pair of shorts, all new kit. I thought, fucking, they said, take that home with you. I was like, fucking, that was a great night. And then he was like, you can go pro. So I met my manager, chatted to him, and then he said, I know I ain't seen you fight. He said, but you game, you was here. He says, I've heard good things. He says, you haven't had any amateur, so you'll have to. They'll have to come out and watch you spar, and the boxing board of control come out and assess you, watch your training, and see if you'd be able to cope and do it. So that come out, that all went well, and then and then they turned me over, and then but it went like that.
Yeah.
It went from I was fighting white collar, and I'd go to some of the fights and have a drink before I got in because I'd calm the nerves, or I knew I hadn't trained, and just mad situations. And then I'd gone from one weekend, I didn't have to fight, but I'd lived like a perfect lord.
Like got a taste of it.
I was like, wow, this is the proper.
Yeah.
And then, that was it. I was a professional, and I'm going to make you that. You're going to make your debut, professional debut. And I thought, wow.
The lifestyle change of it then when you knew it was pro, and that, like the mindset and training, or was you just dedicated anyway?
I was dedicated anyway, but by then I'd had my roofing firm. I'd built my own roof. I'd built up a lot of jobs. The guy who taught me how to roof, Vic, he'd retired, and he'd passed me a lot of work. And he used to call me when I went to work with him. He used to introduce me to the people on the job. He'd say, this is Kane, he's very able, he's good, he can do this and that. So then when I thought, I said, well, I'm going to start a business, I'm going to call it Kane Able. So I'd done Kane Able roofing. And I thought, and then it started going really well. At the same time as I turning professional, my roofing took off, and I was working 6 days a week.
So was it conflict? Was it like?
Oh, bad.
Yeah.
Very bad. So I'd have to get up at 4 to 5, 6 o'clock, go running. Then I'd be on the motorway because we was travelling away with the lads driving, and then we'd be getting back at 6 or 7, and I'd be in the gym at 8, home at 9, dead. My missus I couldn't even speak to, and then and that's how I'd train when I had a fight booked in. And if I didn't have a fight booked in, I wouldn't be training. And obviously, you know what it's like working with the lads, and you know, Friday or takeaway, McDonald's here, there, and so I was always a lot heavier than I should have been anyway because of the lifestyle. But it was hard. 1 week I wanted to be the boxer. I want to be the boxer. This is it. I'm not going to have a burger. I'm not going to have a drink. I'm not going with the lads the weekend. I'm going to train all week. And then the next week we'd have a good job come in, and you could make some decent dirt working on the roof. And then I'd be like, I'm a roofer this week. And it was kind of my first couple of 3 or 4 pro fights were like that, really.
What was your debut? What was the debut pro?
My debut was in I can't remember the date. I can't remember my pro debut.
Do you remember who it was against?
I remember who it was against. It was against Dan Carr. Oh, wow. Yeah, Dirty Dan Carr.
Dirty Dan Carr, yeah.
Yeah, and it was at the Futsal Arena in Birmingham. But the date, I wouldn't know the date.
No, who won?
I won my first one. I won my first 4, and but that's how I trained throughout. So I'd work and train. That's been most of my career like that. And only of recent have I just full-time training that. But I would so I won my first 4, and then the big fight come really.
Which one was this?
This was the old Conor Benn.
Conor Benn.
Yeah. And I remember I was walking around at that weight then, and I remember being in. I'm sure we was getting tickets for another show I was actually fighting on, and there was a few boxes there, and there was a little press conference, and there was a matchmaker and a manager, and he offered the fight to a few people in there, and there was a load of good lads that I thought more took it or that was unbeaten that were better than me by far anyway, and no one popped up, and I was like, well, can I have it? Is there any chance I can do it? Am I worthy of taking the fight? And they was like, yeah, no problem. Tomorrow. And then I was on the way on the Anthony Joshua undercard. And that was half the reason I took it. I thought, hey, Joe, this is the life now. And then you got cancelled, my medicals out of date, so I was gutted. And then a little back and forth between me and Connor. And he said, don't worry, the fight will be back on. And then a few weeks later, the fight was on.
Yeah.
And but you live and learn. I fight 4 weights lower now, and he's a good fighter.
But he's champion now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's champion of the WBA, and he's fighting Jesse Vargas in his next fight. I follow his career because I was following, watching him anyway, like as a fan.
Yeah.
I've always been a fan of Conor Benn because he's like he showed against Payne. He did have that little run. He can be hit. But he's exciting, he's come forward and he's fucking devastating when he's whacking him. So he's an all-in action fighter for me. So I was just happy to and growing up, my brothers liked boxing and their old man liked boxing, and they was all Ben and Eubank, and so that name was always in my head anyway. So to get that chance, I was all over it, even if it only lasted about 4 minutes.
Still mixed up with him. Still took a fight when people didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when other people never, and that's what I've always done. I've always beat down, whether I'm in work or not, whatever my life is. If I'll take the fight, and I'll bet them, because you can bet yourself from doing things, taking risks and things that you think are out of reach. Sometimes they're not out of reach. No. And you just gotta stay ready and be ready. I
like that. So I quoted you on Instagram with that, innit? Because I remember what you were saying about. You had to tell me what fight it was when you got the call, like days before, wasn't it? It was like, you remember you saying on the mic, it was like, you only got a call, but you got to stay ready. And someone was saying to me on Instagram, and someone said about, I was a trainer. I said, well, I quote Kane Baker. You got to stay ready.
That's it. Yeah, man. Because I fought then, so I fought on Sky and I lost, and then it was 2 weeks later, and I hadn't even been in the gym, but my missus had put a post of me training, so Eddie Earn had seen that, and he thought I was still in the gym. He spoke to my manager and said, well, Kane, be ready to fight. And I'd let my hair down. I weren't thinking of it. I thought that was my chance. I blew it, and then
I was going to say, where was your head set? Like, obviously you've gone again, like top level. Conor Ben's come on to prove he is top level. He is champion now.
Yeah.
He was always wearing, obviously.
And then so that was only in my year 4. And then I took a few other at the higher weight. I was still learning my weight and learning about, when people go to the ring. I was thinking, when I was on the scales, I was the same size, but they was going to the ring a lot bigger. Yeah. And I was thinking, what? Well, this ain't right. And then like there's certain things in my diet and stuff now that you have to trim down, and you get as small as you can, and then you can rehydrate and you can put weight on, and the next day. And there's ways to do it. Some people do weird and extreme ways that I wouldn't. But I just like tweaking my diet and putting in the hard work. That's all I like to do. And I seen the weight come off from that, and then I knew to myself that I was a lot lighter. So then I took some of these fights. I had some bad losses, but I travelled the world. I've been to Saudi Arabia, I've been to Ireland on 24 hours notice, and
you've always been game to take the fight.
Always been game, yeah. And then when they don't go your way and you get back, and people can think, oh, that's you can devastate yourself really and be fucking heartbroken.
Did you ever?
After the Conor Benn, but I remember coming out and I'd sold like a couple hundred tickets to this. And it took me back to like the copper time. I thought, I got loads of tickets. I'm gonna fucking go there, be the man. And then, I went there, and I just remember I was gutted, absolutely gutted. And I walked out of the York Hall. I went in the changing room. I took a fag off my manager and a drink, and I had a drink, and I thought, fucking, how am I gonna go out there to all them people? I thought, fuck. How the fuck am I going to do it? So I'm man up now, you have to go out. And I walked out, and my missus went, come on, we're going round the pub. round the corner. So we went round. I went round. They was fucking singing.
Yeah?
Yeah, they were singing, man.
Oh,
Fucking my heart. I was bursting into tears, and I thought, fuck. And they still love me.
Yeah.
They love me fucking more, even if they couldn't have loved me anymore. And I thought, fucking hell, wow. It was some massive feeling that was.
Yeah.
And then, that was after the. And then I took a few more where I didn't get to take any fans, and I just built from there. And now it's where I am with the last Sky Sports. I had that loss, and then I bounce back. So I had.
And you're coming off a win, aren't you?
I'm coming off a win
coming
now.
off a good big win as well.
Big win.
Yeah, big win.
So, but I'd lost the 2 weeks before that on a very close fight with a good young prospect. And that was close, and I was gutted, and I thought, do I knock it on the head? And I thought, do I knock it on the head? You know, because I'm getting to that age now. How
old you know?
I'm 30 now.
30.
So I want to really be having a family and, you know, settling down properly with my missus. We was trying, or going to try about it just before Mum passed, and then we kind of got put on the back burner because of obviously losing a mum and stuff like that. But now I feel ready to. That's what I want to bulge into, having a family with my missus and that. And then I thought about this boxing's too much hard work. I put 8 weeks. I trained me nut off. The fight got cancelled. And then I'd gone back in and trained again, and then.
Who was you meant to be fighting that to? Who was that?
The same kid that I fought in the end, but he pulled out on the day.
Yeah.
And then to go through it all again, and the money, you know, it's hard when you don't fight, you don't earn. And then I fought him again. I lost on points, and I just thought maybe that's it now. And then my missus was like, no, she was like, I want you still to box because it's good for me. And she's like, you might only have another year or two, and if we stop now, you're going to miss opportunities. And I was like, what opportunities? I ain't going to get a fucking opportunity. Feeling sorry for myself. And then boom, the day after my phone rings, you want to go on Sky again this weekend? And I was like, what the fuck? So I was like, well, yeah.
And who was this fighting?
This was against Shakespeare, Tony Value's prospect. Yeah, undefeated lad, good record, couple of knockouts, good fighter. He only had the short nose, I only had the short nose, so it was really fairly matched, really. And I went in there and I turned up, and I got the win. I dug deep and got the win.
I watched the fight.
Yeah, I watched it. That was all I ever wanted.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking to myself after, I thought about retiring after losing. Like, why didn't I retire after the win? Because that's if you're ever that's gonna be the time. The clever ones are the ones that fucking say, got that bout or got that win, and go, I'm off, mate. Yeah. See you later. But it just made me think of what I've spent on boxing, and what now I'm actually getting money, and I'm got sponsors that are helping me, and everything I dreamed of when I was taking tiles up them roofs and fucking having to run at 6 o'clock in the morning, and everything, all I ever wanted was to just be able to try and look a pro and have a fight and be able to get enough money just to live off, not to be rich, just to be able to have that lifestyle as my life, you know, instead of dreaming of it. And that's what my missus said. She said, you built up that now, you've took your losses, you've took your hard fights, and now you're where you want to be. Why would you want to walk away? And I was like, wow. And that's where I am now. I'm where I want to be. And, you know, you could hit me with a sledgehammer, I'd still want to be fighting. I still want to. Nothing going to change that. And for the next year or two, until my body tells me now, I'm going to be fully active as a fully professional fighter, and I'll fight any fucker.
Well, they all know that, innit? They all know that, mate. Even they know that side of it, they all know that, man.
They all know.
I think Eddie said something on his man.
He goes, that's the one all my mates send it me. They go, who's going to have this? Who can take a fight on Tuesdays? No, he goes, Kane fucking Baker.
Big up Eddie, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it, mate.
That's it, man.
Yeah, man.
So what's next then? So you got the fight in?
I got the fight on the 6th of March on the DM White undercard. And like, from this lifestyle now, that was only before them last 2 fights that my life has been fully boxing. So I feel that I've developed over that small 6-month time, and like this is the way I'm going to put it all on the show.
Yeah.
And this is what a full-time professional will fight like on March the 6th.
You know, I'm going to be there watching as well.
That's
if I can be there watching,
You're
I'll
gonna
be one
if
team
not,
watching,
you'll be tuned in.
supporting.
Definitely,
Cool,
man. Definitely.
Okay, man, I was going to say, but listen, I think inspiration, man, your story, what you've been through, and it shows that hard work pays off and that, man.
Definitely.
Proud of Cool, big shout out to Cool, man. It shows
Yeah,
what's
man.
having someone, they say that every great man is a great woman, man.
That's 100%. Because I wouldn't have been, I couldn't. And you sometimes, you know, don't matter, someone say, look in the mirror, and you need someone who knows you, who's on that you believe. Like, because I trust and believe everything she's on a level. She's like one of the lads, you know. I trust and believe everything she says. And when she says to me, you know, you can do better than this, I fucking think to myself, wow, fuck, I can. And then I stand in the mirror and I say, yeah, I can, you know, fucking, I'm going to do whatever it takes. And hard work's easy work when you love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Definitely.
Okay, man, all the best, man.
Respect, my bro.
Respect, my bro.
Nice one. Nice one, bro.
Are we going to mix up now, yeah? You're going to punch me in it, no?
No.
Grab the card on that side, let's get it on there.
Go. And again, whack it, go. And the left hook, go. Lovely. Up, go. Uppercut, left hook, right. And the left hook on top.